Okay, so after the new set, Tales of Middle-earth has come out, we've seen a lot of decks get updated with some new cool tech. One of those decks is the is it Wizards deck, which for the longest time was just kind of a pile of Soulscar Mages, Symmetry Sages, sometimes Electrostatic Infantry and Dreadhorde Arcanists, plus a bunch of spells. You had your Reckless Charges, Mentor's Guidance, and things like that. Static Discharge, Wizard's Lightning. All of those kind of came together to put a pretty consistent deck together that was really aggressive and able to kill its opponents quickly. What we are able to do now, though, with the Tales of Middle-earth set coming out, is we can add a couple of new cards here that are pretty good. So the first thing is Birthday Escape. It's one of two cards that we're adding. Ranger's Firebrand is the other. So it's one of two cards that are using the Ring Tempts You mechanic. So I don't think I've talked about it on the channel thus far, but basically how this works is on the first time the ring tempts you, you get the first level of the ring bearer thing, and essentially you progress through this, not really a dungeon, but like this 4-phase little diagram. And what happens is basically as you get tempted by the ring, more and more cool things happen. It starts with just your creature not being able to be blocked, which, in this deck is sometimes relevant, but with how big we're trying to make these things, generally your opponent can find blockers. The looting on level 2 is pretty good. And then after that, it's just kind of like extra. We're really just happy to be able to draw and discard a card, but if we can get to the third or fourth stage, then it's just icing on the cake pretty much. Being able to make your opponent sack whatever creature they use to block your thing is pretty nice. And the ability to make your opponent lose 3 life, essentially getting another shock out of basically just an attack, is really strong. So that is one thing that we can add. And then we also have Birthday Escape, which basically just cycles for a card. This is the same. This is kind of the same as the other Intensity card, not Static Discharge, but the other one. And this is just another thing that helps us get through the ring thing. And I am still kind of experimenting with this card in particular. I think as long as we can get to the second phase of the ring by any means possible, we're happy. So you could maybe shave this down to 3 or 2, but we'll see. For now, it's a 4 of. And then the final new card is Flame of Anor. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, honestly. I'm not too up to date on my Lord of the Rings trivia. You guys can correct me on that one. But this is a 3-mana instant, which was pretty much built for this Wizards deck. It cares about Wizards, and basically you can choose 2 things out of this list if you control a Wizard, and generally we only really want to cast this when we do. So it's either a very good damage-based removal spell, that 5 damage can kill a Shieldred, which, that's pretty important. You can destroy artifacts. This can help you with Artifact Storm and stuff like that. Unfortunately, cannot deal with the 1 ring, but, so be it. We can only ask so much of this card. And then the other mode is to have a target player, i.e. me or us, draw 2 cards. So, generally for 3 mana, either one of these things is pretty good. But if we have a wizard and can double it, well, the upsides are huge. So we'll be playing with those cards today. We are running the general package of, in our spell slots, we have Wizard's Lightning as a 2 of, 4 Static Discharges, Mentor's Guidance as a 3 of. I think this card is starting to kind of fall out of favor, but it is still pretty good if you do control a wizard. We have Reckless Charge, which I think will be in these decks till the end of time because of the synergy with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then the 2 other new ones that we talked about today. And if we talk about the creatures real quick, we have Soulscar Mage. Symmetry Sage is just awesome to aggress with. And then we have Dreadhorde Arcanist to start to reuse this thing. It's kind of notable that Dreadhorde Arcanist can help us get tempted even more, which is really good. And sometimes it will be able to, if we make this the Ring Bearer, we'll generally be able to attack pretty freely with it and then get up to higher levels of the temptation. And then finally, Electrostatic Infantry. In this deck, if you get blocked by just a couple of big creatures, generally you don't have any reprieve or any way to get around it, and Electrostatic Infantry is that button for us that we can press in case we're stuck. This thing can get big, and it can trample over stuff. Slap a Reckless Charge on that bad boy, and he's getting big. So that's more or less the deck. The mana base is as many untapped lands as I could find, and we are a Giganta deck because why not? Alright, I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about for the update of the Wizards deck. Hope you guys enjoy this one, and we'll hop into some games. Before we do that, though, if you have been enjoying the content, a quick reminder to like the video to help me with the algorithm and to support the channel. And if you're new here and want to see more content like this here in Historic, then you can subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The plug out of the way, let's hop into some games and see how we can do with the updated Lord of the Rings Wizards deck. Alright, round one. Let's see what we can do here. Opener's got a pretty aggressive hand. I think I actually want to keep this. It would be good to play Symmetry Sage right off the rip, but we can get one in with a Reckless Charge, or we can just play it slow and do a Infantry next turn. Firebrand, I want to wait until I have a Ring Bearer on the field. Okay, so if this is blue-white control, I'd like to go quick. So I think I'll just get an Infantry out, and then the following turn, Reckless Charge, and just kind of drop out my 3 drops. So we'll just play out the Infantry now, and hopefully our opponent takes another turn setting up so we can hit him really hard here. Cool, it's just an Omen of the Sea, you like to see that. And now we kind of just go in here. So this is going to be Symmetry Sage. Firebrand will be at opponent. Base 3/3. And then, let's see, what do we want to make our Ring Bearer here? I think we'll probably just do the Infantry. And I don't think it'll matter, because if our opponent removes anything, it will be through a board wipe. And then we are going to make Infantry the bigger creature. And that's just 11 damage here. Our opponent needs to respond on their turn 3 with pretty much exactly a piece of removal. They do find it, which is interesting. Symmetry Sage is dead. However, we can play the follow-up and kill them now. So, let's see. Unfortunately, Flame of Venora is not going to be able to be played right now, but we have a Symmetry Sage here, and we can give it haste. Cool. That is it. We can hop in and get our opponent dead right now. And that is the power of the Wizards deck. I don't think it's gotten any less potent. Alright, round 1 out of the way, let's hop into round 2. Okay, it's round 2. Starting up strong so far. So we have a Soulscar Mage as our starter. And this can kind of produce a decent board, so I'll take it. Okay, so it slivers, so that means we're going to be using our Firebrand as a defensive spell. Flame of Venor probably is going to need to be used as a damage spell, or on the damage mode at least. Luckily, I don't think this opponent's going to have any sort of artifacts to deal with. And now I think I need to just kill Mana Weft Sliver, otherwise they're going to be able to ramp into something that I can't deal with. So this is going to be kill this, trigger Soulscar Mage, and swing in. Next turn we have one more piece of removal, or we can set up with a Electrostatic Infantry. Okay, so they hold up 2 mana. I think they're probably just ramping up for like a Sliver Lord or something like that. So I'm saying that the move right now is going to be playing out another Infantry. You just get to get in there while our opponent tries to play our creatures. And I'm hoping that we can get both Electrostatic Infantries out before we Flame of Venor, so that we can start to grow them and make them more problematic. So this is tap, discard a card to draw a card. I'm not really worried about that too much. Unfortunately, it's not something that goes well with the things that we have on board. I think I'm going to just draw 2 cards here. I'm going to do it main phase in case I hit something better. We're going to choose both modes. I'm going to have me draw, and then I will kill this hollow head. This gives us an attack in, which is good. And we'll see if they want to do anything with Striking Sliver now. I doubt they really wanted to block, so I think they're going to just do this. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, and we have a Wizard's Lightning too, which is good. That removes anything that they play next. I don't want to get rid of Striking Sliver. I want to deal with whatever they play after the fact. Okay. I think before we move to combat, I'm going to kill this unless they do something else. So I think the Cloud Shredder Sliver is the worst thing. However, also Sentinel Sliver is bad. I think that I would rather... I actually don't know what I think here. So it's either Sentinel Sliver or Cloud Shredder needs to die. I think having my opponent be able to attack me in the air is worse. But at the same time, Vigilance is annoying. I think if I take away their Vigilance, they are going to be less incentivized to just attack all in. And they may not attack in this situation. Not sure how I feel about this. I wonder what their last card in hand is. Hopefully it's not something good. Okay, Ranger's Firebrand is a good good pull. So if I go... Unfortunately, it's not enough to also get Giganta out, but I would like to have all these things out. We can take care of Cloud Shredder now, which is great. The ring tempts me again. I think I'll put it onto one of the Tramplers now. And we'll swing in. We get to draw, discard a card. That means I get to get rid of one of these. And we found some more action, which is good. Looks like our opponent didn't have much to do after that turn, so they are out of there. Cool, we're 2-0. Let's hop into round 3. Here we go. Round 3 coming up. Playing against Timmy. Let's see, so how do I feel about this hand? I like Dreadhorde Arcanist plus Reckless Charge. Yeah, this one seems pretty good. This is a hand that I would have been happy to take with the old deck. So let me just kind of queue up my hand here. Yeah, this is a really good looking turn 3, assuming no interaction. We'll see what our opponent's on. They show blue, we show blue, and we show a Symmetry Sage as well. They didn't hold up priority, so it looks like they might not have had anything to do there. So, the astute among you may have noticed that I have sequenced incorrectly. I was supposed to play my red land there. What will happen then is I have to cast this main phase, and we're going to miss out on some triggers from our Symmetry Sage here. Dreadhorde Arcanist I don't need a second one of. Flame of Venor is better. And I will take... I don't need a 5th land. These pathways are going to need to come out on red, it looks like. Alright, so we're going to play this one a little bit slow. Consider it a handicap, I guess. See if this deck can still make it through. Here's Dreadhorde Arcanist plus a Symmetry Sage, and this might be Azorius Control. Okay, sure. And we will get a Symmetry Sage out. This represents a pretty big attack here, unless they wipe the board. I'd like to think my play is going to be Flame of Venor here. I can Static Discharge, hit him for a bunch. I can Flame of Venor, also hit them for a bunch, and then get more cards. I don't want to commit the Soulscar Mage to the table yet. I think because they're holding up mana, I'm going to cast a Static Discharge here. If they counter that, it feels kind of bad, and we still get to hit them for 6. So if they're on Teferi's Contingency, I'm not sure I care too much about that. Dreadhorde Arcanists now kind of suck for me, but we'll see how it goes. Going for 6 is this. Okay, it's not settle the wreckage. Now, I guess we'll just pass turn here. We can try to hit them with a static discharge, but maybe I don't care about that. That makes sense that there's some sort of flash deck, so maybe I don't need to play around too many counter magic spells. I don't think this is a tempo game. We get to static discharge first, and then Flame of Anor after. It'd be cool if they flashed in an artifact, but I don't think they're going to do that. If they tap out at any time before we go to combat, Reckless Charge might end up being the difference. Devious Cover-Up. Okay. Sure. So they're going to shuffle some things into their library. And I guess this is some sort of counter magic deck. If that's going to be the case, then maybe I just put out the Soulscar Mage as well. And we kind of just go for the fences. Okay, so they got the Spell Pierce. However, we do get to go in for a lot of damage here. And now they have to have the board wipe or they're dead. Let's see if they have it. Oh, it's a Memory Deluge, so they don't have it. That looks good for us. Alright. Well, even with a slow start, we were able to make it through against Azorius Control. I guess I don't have too much more to say other than I know totally what it's like to be on the other side of that. This deck, I would say I'd be surprised. I'm generally surprised that they're trying to play so many high CMC counterspells, whereas I think generally, I mean, while Devious Cover-Up is pretty good, the Flash counterspell tribal decks, I think, are having a troublesome time right now because Spell Pierce doesn't really do too much, especially against this kind of deck, and you can't really do too much if you are not going 1-to-1 efficiently. So anyway, with that out of the way, that is round 3. Let's hop into round 4. Alright, round 4 coming in hot. We do have a couple birthday escapes, and this is actually a pretty new hand, or a hand with a lot of new cards. I'm going to try it. I would want to get Symmetry Sage out. That would be pretty cool. And I see a Hive of the Eye Tyrant, which makes me think that this creature might not stick around too long. So I'm going to need to try to find more creatures down the line. Okay, it's a Thoughtseize. I think they take my Flame of Anor. It is the only gold card in my hand. They can double Thoughtseize to take my Birthday Escapes out, but I'm not sure if that's the move. We do get a loot here. So if I just play like this, Birthday Escape, and I will just Birthday Escape one more time so that we can get this draw discard. Nice. And so we'll swing in here. I'm going to get rid of one of these lands, and it'll just be a pathway since I found another. And we get to go in. Here we go. Wishclaw Talisman. That is a dangerous sign. It'll cost them 2 mana to do anything with it. I get a Dreadhorde Arcanist and a Symmetry Sage out in the meantime. Unfortunately, nothing to trigger my existing Symmetry Sage. But they have to kill everything now, otherwise the activation of Wishclaw Talisman to find their removal spell might just result in them dying. They're hopefully in a pretty tough situation here. The One Ring is a good find, so I'm going to have to just do something in the meantime. And I think that it'll be better if I just go ahead and try to... You gain protection from everything, huh? So I guess Ranger's Firebrand is not that good. I'll take a Giganta and get set up for my next turn. I do get to attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and that means I get to draw a card. Love to see that. That's a pretty cool usage of things. Alright, and we find another land. The question is, do I want to change the creature that is my Ring Bearer? And I'm not sure that I really want to. They're not going to take any damage, so there's no trigger here, so it's fine. I'll just go ahead and complete the same one. And let's see. Nothing else to do here. I can try to get tempted once more. But if they if they wipe the board, I can play Symmetry Sage, Reckless Charge, Ranger's Firebrand. That will deal an extra 3 to them when Symmetry Sage connects. That is 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's not like lethal or anything, but it's going to hurt them a lot, and they might be kind of on the back foot after that. That's assuming that I don't get to just go in like this. They're going to go in. They probably take... I wonder if they take Firebrand. They may not realize that I'm about to get the really painful part of the Ring Bearer. Reckless Charge I can still cast anyway, so they might just take one of the creatures. I'm surprised they took Giganta. I don't need the mana at all. They do find the answer here, so I'm just going to have to kind of get in. Get in and get in quick. We have Static Discharge. Okay, so let's go ahead and deal 2 to them. I might actually have lethal here. I haven't done the math, but I think we're 1 off. Yeah, we're 1 off of lethal. Oh wait, no, we're not 1 off of lethal because we have the ring. Alright, we'll discard one of the Static Discharges, and then we get to deal 3 more because of the ring here. And finally we finish them off with Static Discharge. Okay. That was pretty cool. We finally got to a complete Ring Bearer status. I don't know what the actual name for that is. If you know what it is, let me know in the comments. But yeah. That 3 damage a swing, or it's 3 damage a connect. That is pretty good when your opponent doesn't have any creatures. Alright, well, that was a really strong showing so far. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're 4-0. Let's see if this deck can pull off the 5-0. We don't get too many of these here on the channel, but when we do, it's a fun time. One more game coming up with Is It Giganta? Let's go. Alright, we have the 5th and final round coming up right now. This hand is something that makes me worry a little bit because of the single creature in there, but it hasn't been terrible so far. If my opponent has removal, then I feel sad. But if they don't, I get to Dreadhorde Arcanist, then the next turn is Mentor's Guidance plus Birthday Escape, or Wizard's Lightning plus Firebrand plus Birthday Escape. So assuming this Dreadhorde Arcanist doesn't die and I draw another land, this is a really good hand to keep. Okay, so it's Goblins, so that means I Firebrand that Skirk Prospector on sight. I'll be able to choose something as my Ring Bearer soon enough. Being able to recast Firebrand out of the graveyard with Arcanist is just absolutely beautiful. So we'll cast our Arcanist now. We're going to set up the kill on Prospector or whatever 2-drop they play. I'm feeling good about this. Alright, let's see what they got for me. If there's a deck that can rival my speed, it is definitely Mono Red Goblins. So if they have removal, they need to play it now. It has to be like a Strangle type effect. And I don't think that this deck plays that. Even if it's cycling a Jump Palm Incinerator, they only have 1 creature, so we're fine. Alright, so it's Battlecry Goblin. I gotta decide if I'm killing Goblin or Skirk Prospector. I think I just kill Skirk Prospector. And yeah, so I'll do that first, and then I can also kill Wizard's Lightning. Or I can kill that thing with Wizard's Lightning. Let's get the infantry out as well. We are going to move to combat. I'm going to wait till after attackers are declared. Trigger on Arcanist, we will resolve casting Ranger's Firebrand. We will cast this, targeting Prospector. All of our stuff triggers, sweet. And let's make the Dreadhorde Arcanist our Ring Bearer, and we will kill the Battlecry Goblin. Alright, so our opponent's board is cleared, and we have all the spells in the world to keep our stuff going. No 1-mana things in the graveyard, but we'll play one in Birthday Escape. They have no attack here, and we simply can Birthday Escape, find our land. Let's continue to have Well, it doesn't really matter. We can make this the ring bearer, see if they want to trade. We will Storm Carved Coast. And let's see, do I want to do things any different? I think I'll just save these for the face. And then I can, before we go in, play like this. Get some cards, make our things bigger. We'll scry away a land. Find a Symmetry Sage. And another Birthday Escape is good. We're basically going to hit them. Oh, actually, it's a good thing that I made Electrostatic Infantry my ring bearer, because we're about to hit 4 on the 1 ring status. This will deal damage to them, and they will now be losing 3 life because of that attack. So we swing. We will draw and then discard. I don't think we need another land. We will cast this. Infantry gets bigger. Let's continue to have it be this thing, and opponent needs to probably block here. We're going to kill the War Chief anyway. Okay, so they let me deal damage to them. They're basically taking 9 here, which is just great. And then we'll finish off the War Chief. Don't want to give them any way to claw back in here. And I don't want to call things early, but I think we've got it. Our opponent agrees. Yeah, so nothing but dominance here from the One Ring, or not the One Ring, the Tales of the Ring, whatever the set is called. It has added some pretty cool cards to this deck, and I think that the play patterns just got a whole lot more fun. Being able to have the ring levels be another lane of getting advantage in this deck actually makes it extremely strong. We didn't really see it in the first 3 games, but the final 2 really showed what happens when you get the tier 4. And the answer is that it gets really bad for your opponent. I really enjoyed this deck. I've been playing it a little bit recently, but honestly, until recording this league, I thought it was just kind of okay. I think I'm changed by the games that I played today. I'm going to be continuing to play this deck, and I'm excited to see what kind of innovations come out over the coming weeks. Would definitely recommend this deck. It is a very strong ladder climber. Generally all fast decks are, but this one it has always been strong because it has a lot of removal access as well. I think that's more or less all I wanted to say here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed, you can show your support by dropping a like on the video, and if you are new, you can get videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from me by subscribing. It is free and easy to do. With that being said, that is all I have for you today. I hope you guys are going to have a good one, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.